So these thoughts came into my mind when I was reading the book of Daniel. I don't know whether it's the third time or the fourth time, but I just felt like doing it once again. And yeah, the issue about God's wisdom actually struck my mind as I was going through the book. So I felt like I can share some thoughts and some other things that came into my mind. So I thought like it's good if I share the thoughts with my brethren, so that, yeah, it was a blessing to me. So I felt like maybe they could be a blessing to another person. So, okay. So I will begin with a verse in Daniel chapter 1, verse 3 to 4. Actually, this is the scene where some children of Israel are led captive by Nebuchadnezzar and all that. And we are seeing this now. In Daniel chapter 1, verse 3 to 4, we read, and the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. So you see, King Nebuchadnezzar brought he brought these children of Israel, and we see here that these children that are being spoken about specifically here, they had no blemish. It is said that they were skillful in all wisdom, cunning in knowledge and understanding. So I just want to leave that thought there, so that as we continue, I'm going to say what I wanted to bring forth here. So we see in verse 17, we read the same book, Daniel chapter 1, verse 17. As for the 4 children, now, this is where we have the 4 children, that is Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Of course, those are not their Hebrew names. They are written there in Daniel chapter 1. So these 4 children, of course, they refused to eat the food that the king wanted them to take. And they had their reasons. So after a short challenge, I believe that lasted, I think, 10 days, they realized that these 4 children, they had grown. They had grown, be it bodily, and also when they were tested, it was discovered that they were children with more wisdom compared to the others. So we read in verse 17, it says, as for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Now, before I continue, I understand that the food that they were eating, it was literal food. But we see that after the test, these children were seen to have a lot of wisdom and all that. So, but in our case, I believe the food that we take to bring forth this understanding is actually the word, and also partaking of the Spirit of God. That's the food that we take that gives us the wisdom. So I just wanted to mention that as we continue. So in verse 19 we read, and the king communed with them, and among them all was found none like Daniel. Among all the children, none was found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Of course, Hananiah is the Shadrach, Mishael, Meshach, Azariah is the Abednego. They were given those names later on because of the place where they were now living. Yeah, so in Babylon, actually, those were Babylonian names. So, but these ones are Hebrew names. Let me just mention that. And therefore stood they before the king, and in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. You see, now after that short test, these children are seen, their wisdom and understanding is seen to be 10 times. Okay, so I will move on. After mentioning that point, we are going to see something here. Okay, yeah.